kickoff for the Columbus Blue Jackets sales program. I'm Katie, like I already said. I'm going to serve as campus commissioner for the tracking of the sales. And so the people in trouble. The representatives of the Blue Jackets are Marc, Witt, and Menard.
But before then,
What?
before then, we wanted to take a couple minutes. Some of you were not here for our previous presentation. We have one of the representatives for the National Sporting Goods Association, Mr. Brad Sullivan, and I promised to give him just a couple minutes to do a plug before we do the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets is what Katie's main event is for her, for part of Sports Management Club, but we want to give Brad just a couple minutes to promote his careers in the sports retail side of the sports industry.
Good morning. I promise I'll be quick. So I'm here on behalf of the National Sporting Goods Association to represent careers in either sporting goods retail or working for a manufacturer. I work for Holloway Sportswear, which is an Ohio-based company north of Dayton, and we make team uniforms, varsity jackets, and warm-ups that are sold to high schools and teams, travel teams across the country. So the sporting goods industry it's a fun industry to work in. I know this is a little bit different twist. There's obviously a lot of ways you can go within the industry. It's competitive, it's fast-paced, it's fun. There's so many different opportunities to get into the business and take advantage of being in the industry. So again, a lot of the things that'll make you successful are just passion, competitiveness, caring about what you do, being a team player. So all the great things that, you know, as an athlete or a sports enthusiast that you already have a passion for. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave these. Should I leave them up here?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll leave them up here. If at the end of the presentation you'd like to fill out a form here, what this is going to do is this is automatically going to sign you up if you give us your information to receive monthly, weekly emails that'll talk about the opportunities that are available in the sporting goods industry. So everything from internships to ongoing careers to trends or what's going on in the industry. So it'll give you another resource to look for opportunities in areas that you want to take your career. So I'll leave these up here. At the end of the presentation, you want to fill one out, I'll be here. You can just return it to me, and any questions you have, I'll be here to answer those as well.
So, real big career focus today for the sports industry. One side, you know, we talk about everybody wants to get into pro sports, college sports, recreation. Probably the biggest sector is the retail sports industry, and again, it needs all types of business majors. Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to what we're doing, similar to the Cleveland Indians ticket sales program we did last spring. This fall, this is volunteer-based, that we're going to do a program with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And remember what we always say, the easiest way to get your foot in the door to work in pro sports is through ticket sales. And so I'm going to turn it over to Marc and Matt, group event specialists, who's going to explain the program. And again, Katie is going to be our main rep for the campus.
How you guys doing today? Good. Awesome. Good. Well, like I said, my name is Marc Witt. I'm group event specialist with the Columbus Blue Jackets, Matt Menard as well. We're going to get started here. It's a quick little intro about kind of how we got to where we are now. As I said, Marc Witt. I started at Edinburgh University, Pennsylvania. Is anyone familiar with what Edinburgh University, Pennsylvania is? Yeah, we got one guy. Okay, cool. It's pretty similar to Tiffin. It's not like a massive college. You know, I majored in communications, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Had a radio show there, it was awesome, had a lot of fun. Then I kind of fell into sports. I saw that the ECHL, which is like AA hockey, the minor championship, upstate New York, was hiring, took a job, didn't really know too much about it. I knew I liked hockey, I liked sports. Just kind of worked my way up through there, took an advancement and jumped to Oklahoma City, which is in Oklahoma, for a AAA hockey team. So step up, doing a similar thing, group events, hired as a senior account executive there last 2 years ago. And then eventually that led me here with the Columbus Blue Jackets, was what I really wanted to do. Once I kind of found my way into the world of sports, I knew I wanted to do groups, I knew I wanted to be in the professional market. Ended up here with the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's been awesome ever since. So I'll let Matt kind of step into where he kind of came from.
Hi guys, I'm Matt Menard. I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, went to the University of Kentucky where I double majored in business management and marketing. Throughout my entire life, I grew up playing sports, probably like a lot of you. Knew I wanted to get into the sports industry, wanted to work on the team side of it. So while I was at Kentucky, I worked in the athletic department all 4 years that I was there, basically doing a lot of data entry, like, you know, your typical student help type of things, just doing anything that I could to, you know, learn about how they operate a $55 million athletic budget down there. Right after I got out of school, I went and got an internship as a marketing intern with the Houston Astros to see how they, one, came up with their marketing plans and then went into there. You'll kind of see that there's a little bit of a hiatus there. After my internship was done, the sports industry was kind of closing for me. So I went and did retail sales for a distributor and wholesale company for a couple years. And then I saw my opportunity with the Reds to get back in inside sales. I'm probably, how many people like want to do sales? Or do you envision yourself doing marketing and all that stuff? Sales, okay. Personally myself, I did not want to do sales. I didn't know if I'd enjoy it. Getting face-to-face meetings was intimidating to me, and calling people. Took the job with the Reds, and that's what you do. You call people on the phone all day, and then you just kind of, it became fun. It got interesting. And then recently the Blue Jackets opened up a position, so that's how I got my start into the group ticket aspect of it.
Essentially, give you a quick background on the Blue Jackets. How many people are actual hockey fans here? Is hockey fans cool? And those arms will stay raised if you're Blue Jackets fans, or okay, we still got a couple. Yeah, we started in 1997 here. We just switched to the Eastern Conference, which is huge. Now, instead of being in the West Coast, we get a lot less travel, a lot more, you know, the teams like Pittsburgh, Boston. We're going to see a lot of the original six. So now we're going to have all here in the NHL. Typical colors, I mean, Union blue, gold, red, capital silver, blue, red, silver. I'm sure you guys have seen our logo before. Owner, John T. McConnell. President of the team is Mike Priest. The GM, does anyone know how to say that last name? Anyone take a stab? Oh, we got
Jarmo Kekalainen.
Yeah, he nailed it. He's our new general manager this year. And head coach right now is Todd Richards. So just some quick facts. Same thing with Nationwide Arena. You know, Columbus Blue Jackets play there. It holds 18,500. We obviously host tons of concerts and events. Has anyone ever been down to Nationwide before? All right, that's good. That's good. Obviously, you can see how much it costs to make, and it opened up September 9th in 2000, and then the address is simply 200 West Nationwide Boulevard, right downtown. In terms of actual group sales, I'll just jump into something quick here. You know, with the Blue Jackets here, our group sales department is responsible for generating revenue through the sale and service of ticket and our hospitality experiences at Nationwide Arena. Also, we develop programs through relationships, building to help fill Nationwide Arena regardless of the team's performance. That's the good thing about groups is the team's not playing so hot, you got all this extra inventory to move, and you have some opportunities to really think outside the box in groups. It's pretty much the only reason why I like group sales. You're kind of creating this experience for everyone. You get to see your ideas brought to life. Examples of that, like some of our theme nights, which I'm kind of going to get into on the next slide for some more information with group sales. Real quickly, just to talk group sales categories. Schools, colleges, universities, churches, you know, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, choirs, bands, nonprofit. As you can see, the list goes on and on down through here. And now I mentioned earlier with group sales, despite the team performance, you got to figure out to get people into this building. So just a clear example on some of the things that make group sales, you know, kind of fun and interactive. I work a lot with the Girl Scouts of the whole entire state of Ohio. One of the things we end up doing is setting up a Girl Scout night, and we kind of think outside the box with this. OSU has a women's hockey team. What we end up doing is getting them to come down, and they're going to actually get the girls to try hockey on the ice before the game. The girls will arrive like 12:30. They try hockey. they actually get to do a little seminar on women in professional sports. So some speakers from our front office come and talk to the girls. Then they get to do an arena tour, and then obviously they go to the game, which is where I come in, partnering up with an event with tickets. You know, it moves like close to 800 seats for a game. It's just an awesome experience for these, you know, girls, and it's just a way to think outside the box to get people into the building. I mean, it just kind of applies to most of these categories. It doesn't have to necessarily be that extreme, but same thing with company and employee outings. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do something extra, but if they're looking to entertain clients from out of town and the Pittsburgh Penguins are coming in, that's where it's our job to kind of connect the dots to say, well, why don't you heighten this experience by doing one of our, you know, loaded boxes or suite areas, just to try and move some different revenue on that side. So that's just a quick general outlook on our top group categories, and I think Matt is going to step in here and keep the flow going.
All right. How many of you guys are in a relationship or have had a relationship in your life? Yeah, everybody here. My philosophy is relationships equal sales, because everybody here knows one or two people that are attached with a student group here, that are attached to fraternity, sorority, anything like that. You have your leads and your prospects right there. So think about a couple of the questions is like, what am I currently doing that, hey, would you like to go get 10 or 15 people together to watch Thursday night football or Monday night football, something like that? What are my friends doing? What clubs are they in? You know, do we have similar interests there? The easiest thing, and I'm sure Marc will tell you, I met someone, you know, 2 weeks ago, just handed him my business card and, you know, just said, hey, I know you work in a completely separate non-profit industry, but hey, if there's any kind of event coming around that people that are attending the event from out of town might want to stop in at a game, things like that. People you meet, take their names. I'm not good at names, and that's something I'm continuing to improve at, but meeting someone on the street can lead to the next big sale or the next, you know, few ticket sales. And also think about some of these groups that you're in that have registration fees. Some of the things that Marc and I do on a day-to-day basis are, if there's a convention in town, we try to tie a ticket into that registration, because that way, even if that person decides not to come to the game that night, well, we've sold a ticket for our company, and also we're trying to encourage the convention members to come in a very social, relaxed atmosphere to, you know, network and mingle and, you know, essentially help them heighten their experience as well. So the sales process, go into each call or each meeting that you have with an objective. So like, when I'm making a phone call to a potential lead or prospect, if this is the first time I'm calling them, my objective is going to be, what kind of group are you bringing out? What, you know, why are you coming down? I need to get information from them. So like Marc said, I can start thinking of ways that I can use the arena, concerts, hockey games, suites to tailor the experience so that it's one of a kind. Because Marc and I might sell each a 20-person group, but my 20-person group is going to be way different than Marc's, because they might have a different space or go different seating. Obviously, if it's a later call where I've already done that, my objective is to either get them done for the appointment and obviously try to make that sale. Building rapport, listen. If you can make a note, even if it's just somebody who says that they have a couple kids or they like Nathan Horton, for example, make a note down, bring it up in a future conversation, because a lot of times if somebody will pick up that you were paying attention on the last time or the 2 times ago when you talked to them, it's just something that you're showing that you're taking an interest in what they're telling you. Because a lot of times Marc and I are on the phone with 50 different people a day. So like, we're constantly putting notes in, because I might not remember the conversation I had 15 minutes ago, let alone one that I had 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to get a guy on a voicemail. Ask questions. Sometimes it's not always asking 100,000 questions to get the information you need. If you ask one correct question, that person might give you all the information you're looking for. So just trying to feel out the conversation and asking them what's motivating them to bring them down, and then essentially taking that and using that to your advantage. We're making recommendations. We have 15 different areas that you can sit in just for a general ticket. So like, obviously, Mark and I want to sell our highest priced tickets. We would love to sell the $200 ticket to every game to every person, but we know that not everyone can afford that or would want to sit there. So like making recommendations as, hey, we like to sit in one of the ends, or we like to sit right behind the benches. Things like that where you can, take what the person is saying and again make that tailored experience. And then finally, the last step is obviously making the sale and closing. Once you get them into that right situation for them, get the money. This was the biggest thing that, from my experience, a no is a lot better than a maybe. Because Mark and I will tell you that if someone keeps saying maybe, you might call them 15 to 20 times, and then on the 20th call, then they say no, and you've just wasted, however much time you've put into that relationship. So sometimes no is better than that. And also, once the person says no, you can move on, and essentially you're not bothering them anymore. Sales is a numbers game, so obviously the more people that you call and reach out to, the more opportunities you're gonna have for a sale. I think right now in our current client relations management system that we use, there's probably like 3,000 leads that are waiting for Mark and I and our staff to call. So obviously somebody in those 3,000 people are gonna buy a group ticket. So it's just getting the right person on the phone, getting them down to the arena, and learning about that.
I'm not doing anything. That wasn't crazy. Okay, you keep talking.
Yeah, I like that. Then also, don't ever assume anything. I'm sure everybody's heard the assume makes an ass out of you and me. A lot of times, a lot of young reps, and especially when I was in inside sales, just because I've made a call and I've seen past notes and they moved out of town or they didn't do it last year, don't assume that just because I'm making this call that they're not going to do anything. Maybe that person has joined a new organization in the past couple of years that might want to come down. So just take every conversation like a new blank slate when you're starting out with all these people, because you never know where that's going to lead you. And then, like going back to that first slide, use the resources, use your friends' parents. Like in your daily conversations, if somebody says something about hockey, when you guys start the sales program, bring it up. Hey, we've got a ticket. I'm selling tickets right now. Would you be interested in a couple? So kind of use what you have. If you're walking by someone on campus and they say something about hockey, stop and ask questions for them, because again, those are just sales that you might not have had in the first place that you're just going to help build your business upon. Finally, the next thing was the prospecting, which is the slide right before this, but no, you're all right. But anybody can essentially be a group leader. Like anybody in this room could possibly bring a group down to Nationwide Arena. So I mean, your professors, the people that help you schedule your classes, they might be the biggest hockey fan, and if you just strike up a conversation, you might find out that, hey, that person is going to be the person that's going to lead the charge and sell a lot more tickets than I can just on my own. The places to find leads can be anywhere. Social media is a big one right now. I'm sure everybody in here has a Facebook account or a Twitter account. Checking that. Newspapers, search engines, school newspaper, anything, you can find leads from anywhere. And then always ask for a referral. I know Mark and I are continually trying to do this every day, but just because I make a sale to someone, I always will try to ask if I can remember, hey, do you know anybody else that would want to come? Because that person might lead me to my next 1,000 ticket group just by asking a simple question. Like, hey, do you know anybody? You never know. We've both gotten emails where you ask somebody, they don't know anybody, and 2 weeks later you have a voicemail or an email saying, hey, I thought of somebody, try this guy. So, you never know where your next sale is going to come from, so just ask the questions. Some of the objections you guys are going to face, that we face on a day-to-day basis, not a hockey fan. One of the biggest things that I love to say to these people is, have you ever been to a game? Because how do you know you don't like hockey if you've never been? Time, money, all of these things are going to be objections that there are ways around every objection. That comes into where when you're asking questions, Somebody says, my daughter does Girl Scouts. Well, all right. Well, now I know that might be a potential objection down the road, and that I can say, well, hey, we have a Girl Scout night. Marc, I can refer them to Marc. So there are ways around the objection. The biggest one that we get is I haven't seen any of the information, and also I didn't know that you had it. A lot of these people are going to tell you to send them emails, get them the information. Just stay with them. Constant contact is really a big thing in the sales game. If you're staying on top of someone, you're going to get the yes or no a lot quicker than you are if you just send them the information and let them decipher it. Normally with these people, I'll send them the email, follow up a few days later to make sure they got it, and then to see if they have any questions. A lot of people give me the blow-off answer of, yeah, I got it, I just haven't had time to look at it yet. Well, little do they know, I'm going to be calling them every week until they finally say, yeah, I've looked at it and we don't want to come, or if you're annoying the heck out of me, stop calling. Things like that. And a lot of times, there's information that just because I send them something might not be on there, that when I'm asking questions, I can make those proper recommendations for them. Next. So here's kind of your project breakdown, and I will let Marc go through that with you.
So did anyone else, I guess, participate in that previous project with Indians at all? Was quite a few. Awesome. It's very similar to that, and for the newcomers, I guess. What we're doing is giving you guys a special rate to our Friday, December 6th game versus Minnesota Wild. As you can see, any students or alumni here, I guess even on other universities to be honest, but just any student in general, they're going to receive a special rate of $20 ticket, and then same thing with non-student ticket if you're out, like when we talked about some of these businesses, different things, they'll actually have a special rate as well for $30.
Remember the caveat of a student ticket is they have to have a student ID. So that's the only way that they're gonna, because if they go in there with a student ticket and they don't have a student ID, they're gonna be sent away.
It will say that on the ticket too, so you don't have to stress about, did I give them the right one, or am I making sure I'm doing this right? If you know they're a student, they have an ID, this ticket says student ticket, and then when they go through the entryway, they're pretty much all set. This is just a quick breakdown of our seating chart. Essentially where we're gonna be having your guys' tickets, that AEP power level center, that red zone upper bowl, is gonna pretty much be where most of those seats will be. We do have a lower bowl option that we're giving a special rate as well, where that silver lining is. It's hard to see right behind section 117 to 101. It's the mezzanine, which I'm sure will get you guys all this information. But just in case anyone had some questions, they're pretty awesome seats. I'm not gonna lie. That red section itself is normally a $55 ticket. So even if they're not a student, getting it at 30 is just an awesome rate. The same thing with the lower bowl. That's normally like a $68 ticket. To get that at 25 or 30 is pretty cool opportunity. So that's just a general feel for where these seats will actually be for this project. Just some additional information was we plan on getting some hard details on this. That is our first responders night. So as we talked about with groups, who if you know anyone that's affiliated with fire, police, etc., paramedics, use it to your advantage. Let them know that we're going to be doing some special things. Obviously, we recognize them at the game. We're going to get some, like I said, more details on that for you guys pretty quickly here. We should have, that finalized. That is one of our theme nights that we talked about in the early slides, which we're going to be using to promote and move a nice chunk of tickets. So expect some more information on this. So pretty much, does anyone have some questions on this? I know that a chunk of the actual program will pretty much already be communicated, we have it all, set in stone. Do you guys have any questions on our end? Anything from start to finish here?
Are all the tickets, say I sell to a group of people, are those all going to be guaranteed that they're sitting together?
Yeah, all the tickets are going to be in a block. So, for example, we would just pull from that block that we have, depending on where they're going to be at. Now, we can try, if for some reason, and this question might pop up, but I'll just jump ahead. If someone is looking for that special seat, like if they were like, you know what, I don't like that upper bowl, I don't like that lower bowl, I like this section, We'll if they're a non-student, we'll definitely be able to cater to their needs, get them a special rate, everything that's included with it. That's just, of course, if that question pops up. So, we'll be able to get them in a nice row together as well.
Okay. And also, for the first responders, if they are a first responder, do they get a discount ticket that night other than?
There will be, I'm sure there'll be a discount rate, but the chances of it being better than the rate you guys are getting is highly unlikely. And we're going to have that information just in case, but for the most part, the promotion that we'll probably be doing will involve a certain rate and it'll involve a certain experience. This is something completely different, which we might be able to incorporate that into it, like the experience. Once I get the details, we might be able to say, hey, if you walk, by the way, if you are so-and-so, we might be able to do some type of like recognition on the scoreboard for no additional charge or something.
The tickets are all going to be picked up at will call, but there's going to be a Tiffin University table that right by will call that everyone that day will open up like 90 minutes before the game, and that's where people will go. So like when you turn in your sheet, Katie's doing the tracking of it, and she knows that 68 tickets or 12 tickets are together under this person and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and if they have requests, if it is like a block, I mean, if they buy a block of 60, but say, can I do like 30 or 30, whatever you need, just let us know. You're gonna have your own will call. It's pretty easy to see. There's a giant sign that says will call, and as soon as you walk in, there's a table. So
We'll have a nice Tiffin University banner on it.
yeah, get some logos, promote you guys. Nice. And any other questions here? I mean, really on anything with the team. Doesn't necessarily have to be on the project or anything. Career-wise, I mean, we're here for your questions.
The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys too, the way we kind of divide our Blue Jacket staff in is each of us has like a specific category that we focus on. So Marc does a lot of the performance groups, school groups, choir, stuff like that. My big focus is colleges and universities, so that's why we're excited to have you guys and be working with this program. But also a couple of things is for the majority of our games, we have what we call the student rush, and that kind of ties into this project. But like, let's say next semester you're with your group, we have specific programs for college students like yourselves and your organizations to get discounted tickets at better than the group rates in the box office, because we understand college students, you guys are busy, sometimes we don't have a lot of money, and so we have programs for that. So we brought some of our student rush flyers, and I have some of my business cards, and Marc's got his. So we have other programs. Obviously, focus on your program first because that's what you guys are here to do. But we also have other programs for other organizations once the semester passes or once this program lapses that we want to integrate you guys, because we know that college students bring a lot of atmosphere and can make Nationwide Arena a tough place to play. So if you guys have any questions on that as well, feel free to ask those or catch up with us right after this and we'll get those answered.
By selling the ticket, you guys are the only ones that's able to get a free ticket. Though you guys, if you meet your fundraising goal or if you meet your goal, 5 tickets sold, if you sell 5 tickets, your ticket will be free, and it'll also include that you'll be able to go for free to the career fair at the Cleveland Cavaliers in January and that game, and that's what's in the black box there on the right-hand side. Belowhand, so you guys, you 35 of you, 36, there's a kickoff 2 weeks from today. You're going to be eligible for some prizes based on whoever sold the most tickets and money included at that point. And what happens for the kickoff sales people?
Oh yeah, we have a couple different things that we're working off right now. We're going to obviously be able to do some seat upgrades at the game. At the game that you guys are actually going to be attending that you're selling for. We have some couple fan experiences that we're going to be throwing in there too. We let like 6 to 4 individuals in the penalty boxes or the bench while the team's actually warming up on the ice. So it's pretty cool. You can take photos and stuff there. It's a really unique experience. With that being said too, we're going to start getting into some more of the special prizes where we're going to be doing a discussion panel as well, which I'm sure everyone's going to be attending that one.
Whoever is on the bus So there's free transportation for this day for U35 or what have you, and if some others, on the note on the right-hand side, if you have other people that want to go on the complete field trip, it's completely voluntary. You can make if you have a ticket to the Columbus Blue Jackets game, you can get there yourself, or you can catch a bus. I got 42 seats on a bus. If we need to take a van, we may be doing that. So that's why if you have a student that wants to participate that's buying a ticket, you can put their name on this list. And I'm just doing it by when it's sold out. But the field trip encompasses going to Ohio State first, to the Horseshoe, going to the football recruiting room, talking about college careers and college sports, and then we're going to get to the Nationwide Arena to do a little panel on careers in professional sports. We'll have some people there from the Clippers, from the Crew, and from the Blue Jackets. And that'll give you a little bit of time before going into the actual game. So there's free transportation, but he was talking about the career panel.
Yeah, and with that being said too, we have some meeting space set aside for a pretty cool event, but one of the overall prizes too, I believe the 2 top sellers, we're actually going to be able to get some interviews lined up with the Columbus Blue Jackets for some future positions with our directors of inside sales and different sales categories. So there'll be bars that they'll be set at, which we're going to be rolling out soon. Obviously the bar to get your guys' free ticket to the game, then upgrade, fan experience, and then etc. You know, as we get to that point. So there's some pretty neat opportunities, and to be honest, I mean, I'm sure Matt can attest to getting an interview, especially at this level right out of college. I mean, you'll take any way you can get it. So the best way we just figured the best way to show our directors, you know, who has what it takes is by this program itself. I mean, you're doing essentially what we do on a day-to-day basis, trying to move tickets. So I mean, that's exactly what you'd be doing. So especially if this interests you too, don't hesitate. I mean, even if you did quote unquote qualify, don't hesitate to just say, hey, I am really interested in this. Who would I need to get my my resume to when I do graduate, or even internships, stuff like that. So I mean, we'll have a lot of different things connected, but there's some pretty neat prizes out here that we're going to be unrolling as well.
And don't forget, from the Cleveland Indians, Ashley was promised she was the top ticket salesperson. She received an interview and got the job. So, and she was able to have like 3 months off before she started the job after graduating. Really great stuff. You're turning in tickets every Wednesday to Katie in my office. Katie or I will be in there. There's 1 week I won't be in there, but she'll be around there. 11 o'clock on Wednesdays. 2 weeks from now, we're going to take a look and we'll announce who the big ticket sales winner is. You tell tickets up until November the 20th. On November the 20th, that'll determine the overall winners. If you have anyone that trickles in after that, because after that you're in Thanksgiving break and then it's the week of the game, we'll try to accommodate you, but any prize incentives is going to be cut off on November the 20th. Let's hit some questions.
I'm here for them.
When are we gonna get information about the opportunities in the mezzanine section? Or are they just gonna see what they're gonna be in the?
Well, it depends. We're gonna, for students especially, we do have a special rate where I believe those seats might be $30. I think the upper bowl seat you'll be selling those at $20 for students. And the lower bowl mezzanine will be $30. Now, in general, for anyone that's outside of a student, we can still accommodate them with a special rate. If you want, we could add that, but you know that's just kind of on a I guess hit or miss because the jump will increase. They don't get that deep of a discount. It's going to be around.
We're going to lunch with these gentlemen and Katie afterwards, and our rep and Brad from Holloway. But we're going to make sure that Katie knows all the ins and outs, and that's going to be your main contact. She's going to be the main contact with these gentlemen and have those answers. But she and I both need to be educated about. You know, we wanted to kick this off officially today, but the upgrades is something that we're going to still get the prices from.
Yeah, I mean on every level with that. I mean I don't know the connections you guys have. I don't know the organizations you're affiliated with, but I mean if you're talking to the right people and certain things pop up. I mean even if it is some of these hospitality areas or they're looking to do something extra. I mean don't hesitate. We can connect the dots because I mean something like that especially. I mean, when we're talking about this contest, if something like that were to pop up, I mean, it's really going to open up some more front office people's ears. You know, the fact that you guys are able to accomplish something like that, still being in school. I mean, so if people are asking, don't be afraid to make something work that's not on this sheet.
So you know what you're doing. You're selling tickets, you're collecting money, you're coming on Wednesdays, to turn it in at 11 o'clock. Katie's your main contact for students. 2 weeks, we got prize winners. In about 6-7 weeks, the overall, it ends. And hopefully we won't run out of tickets to sold, but there is a limited number of student tickets, so that's why we need you to keep doing it every Wednesday. Every Wednesday that you have sales. She needs to record it, give you back the sheet, or we'll give you a new sheet or something. So that's the basic information. You feel like you're prepared. You feel like you know what's going on, okay, because you know where to find us.